This week's story, a seasonal one, is by Cónal Creedon and it's read by Martina Carroll.
Christmas! A funny time of the year is Christmas. It's a time when families return to the table where they were reared. It's a time when grannies and granddads become mammies and daddies become children again. A time when old friendships are rekindled with a trinket or a card. A time when those dead and gone are remembered. It's a time when the magic of belief is restored. And I suppose that's it. Christmas is a time of belief. I remember one year, 10, 20 or 30 years ago or so. It was a long time ago, and my beliefs were on shaky foundation. It was Christmas Eve, and Tragic Ted was spreading it around the street that there was no Santa Claus, and he was putting up a good argument. He was saying that even his own Uncle Jerry, who lived in the north side all his life, would sometimes lose his way home and wouldn't get home until the next day. So how in the name of all that's good and holy could one man with a handful of reindeer get around the world to all the boys and girls in one night? Impossible, he said. Downright impossible. Don't get me wrong now. My belief in Santa was still strong. Strong but questionable. So I jumped to defend Santa's honour. Within 3 minutes I had a black eye, a split lip, and me man was frog marching me up the street by the scruff of the neck. Get in there, you little scut. Fighting in the street, you little caffler, ya. Fighting on the very eve that the baby Jesus was born. Go on, get in there, you scut, ya. Up the street and into the house. Now get up them stairs and say your prayers. You'll be lucky if Santa calls at all. You can count yourself lucky if he don't put you on the bad boys blacklist. The lump of coal brigade. Do you hear me? Lumps of coal. Not a peep out of you now. And go on, get up them stairs and go to sleep. No, it never snows down Devonshire Street, but Christmas spirit was thick on the ground. Outside gangs of 4s and 5s, full of cheer and good tidings, could be heard howling their way home to the Red City of Granabraher. And there I was, tucked up in bed listening to the radio. Father Christmas had just signed off from the North Pole and he was on his way. Me head filled with meandering thoughts of the bad boys blacklist, the lump of coal brigade, and in a sort of semi-dream world I drifted to timelessness. Well, I was snapped back to reality by the sound of someone foot-a-mauling outside in the hall. Me bedroom door eased open. If it was me ma'am, I was in trouble. But if it was Father Christmas, I was in bigger trouble. I shut me eyes tight pretending to be asleep, and whoever it was shuffled around the room behind me. Me heart, chest and toes and ears pulsating. I peeped open me eyes and there he was, standing at the end of me bed. Father Christmas? Is that you, Father Christmas? I stumbled over the words. Father Christmas, don't mind your Father Christmas. My name is Santy Boy. Santy Boy? No, not Santy Boy. Santa Claus Boy. Oh, Santa Claus Boy. That's right, Santa Claus Boy. And sure enough, there he was in the flesh. Santa Claus Boy. Now, I must admit, he wasn't exactly as I expected. He was only slightly overweight, no flowing white beard, just a grey stubble of 2 days' growth. And he wore a brownish-red duffel coat and a well-worn pair of black steel-capped work boots. Not a particularly jolly character. What are you gawking at? Says he. I haven't all night, boy. I'm having fierce trouble with me gory. 'Tis up in the flat roof. Me back axle is seized up and me bridle is benjaxed. And you're the only man I could turn to. Me, Santa Claus Boy? That's right. I saw how you handle Tragic Ted. You're the man I want in me corner. Well, I'll tell you. I was out of me bed and into me dressing gown and up them stairs in 2 shakes of a reindeer's tail. Our flat roof glistened with a dusting of soft white snow. It was majestic, and they're lined up in pairs, harnessed to a sleigh carrying more toys than Kilgrew's window, were the reindeer. I mouthed their names: Rudolph, Prancer, Dancer, Donner, Blitzen. What are you on about? Santa Claus boy stopped mid-sentence. The reindeer, I said. The reindeer, says he. Do they look like reindeer to you? And sure enough, there in front of me was the strangest array of beasts I had ever seen. Rudolph's for real, the only reindeer in the pack. In fact, this is the great-great-great-great-granddaughter of the first Rudolph, give or take a few greats. But the rest are all Hollywood, pure Hollywood. These are beasts from the 8 corners of the earth, all handpicked for their fitness, intelligence and skill in traversing their own particular terrain. Dear la, there's a moose from Canada called Chuck, and a Sika deer from Japan by the name of Kinchung, and then from Africa a gazelle named Naboa, and a camel from the Sudan called Midad, Rodriguez, a llama from South America, and from the Italian Alps, Salvatore, he's a mountain goat, and finally out in front, leading the pack, Finbar, an Irish red deer. Finbar, from Ireland. Hand-picked boy, all hand-picked. Anyway, enough of that. What about me bridle and me back axle? To tell you the truth, Santa Claus boy, I knows nothing about bridles. But you know, O'Connor's funeral home next door used to have horses years ago, and maybe they have an old bridle hanging up in there somewhere. And Daly's garage down in Pine Street, they're bound to have a jar of axle grease for your back axle. Me daza. He smiled and clicked his fingers. Your head wasn't made for a hat. He handed me his list. You organised the presents for the boys and girls, and I'll be back in a jiffy. And Santa Claus boy vanished down O'Connor's skylight. Then I had a good look at the list, and there I saw Barry Johnson, believer; Georgie, non-believer; Theo McAuliffe, believer; Blake Creedon, non-believer; Christy Lane, believer; Tragic Ted, believer. Obviously, the list was out of date, so with a few minor adjustments, I organised the bundles of toys for all the boys and girls. And Santa Claus boy was over and back across the roofs, refilling his sack and delivering the presents. The bridle repaired, I slapped a dollop of grease onto the back axle, and Santa Claus boy was back from his final delivery. By the look on his face, I could tell that something was not quite right. Come here. What was this story with Tragic Ted's presents? Tragic Ted, Santa Claus boy. Sure, Tragic Ted's an unbeliever. He's on the bad boys' blacklist. Santa Claus boy stopped. There's no bad boys' blacklist, and there's no lump of coal brigade. But Tragic Ted don't believe in you, Santa Claus boy. Look, sit down there for 1 second till I talk to you. How do I put this now? You see, most of the trouble in this world is caused by one man questioning another man's beliefs. But I'll tell you straight now, you must always question your own beliefs, but never question another man's beliefs. You see, there's 2 types of people in this world, them that believes and them that don't believe. And I is enough of me hand Christmas morning to be trying to please the believers than to be bothered me Barney bringing lumps of coal to the non-believers. Do you know what I'm saying? Now get up there like a good young fella and give us a hand putting together a few things for Tragic Ted. Me and Santa Claus boy set to it and made up a very special bundle of toys for Tragic. And once again, Santa Claus boy was off over the rooftops. His work in Cork was finished, and he gave one last check to his harness and back axle. Before you go, says I, myself and me brothers have a slice of cake and a bottle of stout laid out for you down the kitchen. A bottle of stout? He looked at me as if I had 2 heads. I only works one day of the year, and it's the one day that I gets a rake of free drink. Sure, I can't drink on Christmas Eve. I couldn't be locked out of me skull and flying around the sky. I'd be a danger to myself, not to mind anyone else. But you must get hungry, Santa Claus boy. Hungry? A glint came to his eye. Sure, I'd often take a slug of a bottle of milk or tear a leg off a freshly cooked turkey. I tell you, there's many a cat got no Christmas dinner because of a turkey leg I was after eating. Now, Tragic Ted's idea was still playing on me mind, and now that myself and Santa Claus boy were on a first-name basis, I put it to him straight. I said, "Before you go, Santa Claus boy, do you mind if I asks you a question?" "Fire away." "Would you mind explaining to me how you managed to get around the world to all the boys and girls in one night?" "Simple. You must keep going west. Always keep the setting sun in sight. Keep going west, 'cause as long as you have the setting sun in sight, the dawn of the next morning will never creep up behind you. Of course, the old international dateline comes in handy too, like. Are you right there, Finbar?" He tugged on the reins. I didn't want him to go, but there was a job to be done, and Santa Claus boy was the man to do it. "Will you call to me again, Santa Claus boy?" I struggled with me tears. "Come here to me. The day you stop believing in me, that's the day I stop calling to you." I pushed the sleigh so that it stretched diagonally across the roof, making room for the takeoff. Santa Claus boy climbed aboard and taking control of the reins. "Up, up, 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 Chuck. Come on, King Chung, the boy. Come on, me dad. Up, Rodriguez, Salvatore. Are you right there, Finbar? Up, up, up and away!" And up and away the sleigh lifted to the stairs, knocking sparks off O'Connor's gutter as they rose. They circled overhead. "You're a sound man!" he roared from the circling sleigh. "One of our own, boy! One of our own!" Santa Claus boy circled the sleigh one more time. He rose the whip above his head and laughed as it cracked over Finbar's antlers. "Are you right there, Finbar?" They were gone shooting across the southern sky, westward. I tell you, that was me first and last time meeting Santa Claus boy. But every year he finds his way to my house, down into the belly of the city and through the streets. As I say, it was a long time ago, 10, 20, 30 years ago or so. It was a time when people were buttoned up, in the days before Velcro.